It's the summer of 2026 and behind me is Grand Army Plaza. It's noisy, it's chaotic, and it definitely prioritizes cars. But that might all be about to change forever.
In Brooklyn, a meeting is set for today on a new proposal to make Grand Army Plaza car-free.
In April, the New York City Department of Transportation unveiled plans to reimagine the northern tip of Prospect Park. The new design plans to pedestrianize the road behind me, cutting it off from traffic, allowing the arch to serve as the entranceway into Prospect Park, something it was initially intended to be by the park's designers. People have been advocating for these changes for decades. In 1927, a sign was placed right here, keeping a total tally on the number of road deaths in the area. In 2008, a competition was held to reimagine Grand Army Plaza, and it received over 200 new ideas. But since then, the years have passed by, and ideas are all they've remained to be. They made some smaller changes, like in 2012 they added these pedestrian islands with some planting in the hopes that it would slow cars down. And in 2018 they made Prospect Park permanently car-free, following a successful trial period. So when in 2025 a new mayoral administration came along promising changes, they had the opportunity to do something big, to finally pedestrianize Grand Army Plaza and to bring this archway back into the park. But what is it exactly that makes Grand Army Plaza so hazardous? What are DOT proposing to do? And how long are all of these changes going to take? I'm Stephen Landy with Third Place, and this is everything you need to know about Grand Army Plaza. Alright, so New York is filled with car infrastructure, expressways, roadways, busy intersections. So what is it about Grand Army Plaza that has it highlighted by DOT?
I mean, it honestly doesn't take a genius to just go out to the physical space and just see that it is very confusing.
It's just not an enjoyable experience. Basically what you have is a huge roundabout that cuts off Grand Army Plaza from Prospect Park.
Well, the main problem with Grand Army Plaza is that there are roadways running through and around it. I mean, that's just, you can't sell it any other way.
That's Gersh Kunstman, editor-in-chief of Streets blog, an independent news outlet that covers transportation and streetscape improvements. We joined Gersh at Grand Army Plaza itself to discuss its issues in its current form.
If you see behind me, there's a big park with a big ceremonial arch, cut off from another big park with ceremonial architecture by a massive roadway that is ostensibly what we call a car sewer. It's not really functioning as a plaza at all. It's functioning as a little kind of museum piece of what a functioning plaza should be. Building on prior plans for fixing Grand Army Plaza, the mayor wants to take Union Street, which is directly behind us at the foreground of the arch, and actually close that to cars. Pedestrians and cyclists get this incredible new public space as well as protected bike lanes through the circle. The advantage of this obviously is that you get a direct connection between Prospect Park proper and what I like to call Prospect Park North. I mean, the original plaza here was part of the original design for Prospect Park and now will be part of Prospect Park.
Okay, so what is it exactly that DOT are proposing? The main change obviously is banning cars from the road that divides the arch from Prospect Park.
The idea was that the Grand Army Plaza would lead into the park as this grand entrance.
In the proposed, it connects the park and plaza with the arch in one continuous space.
This involves simplifying pedestrian islands, protecting bike lanes, raising and creating new crosswalks, and closing down unnecessary slip lanes.
It creates like a network of protected bike lanes on the outskirts of the plaza itself. It is about 67% of the pedestrian spaces expanded with the reconnection of this arch back to the park.
There hasn't really been a lot of opposition to this proposal yet, but it's likely that further down the line there will be. And it'll be coming from private automobile commuters who take their cars to work.
The narrative arc of a change in the city is initially the city government kind of talks about it. They don't really put out a plan yet. They take feedback in small groups in the place in question. And not many people really object. It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, that sounds interesting. And then they present the plan. And that's when a lot of the people who are inclined to oppose it or anything else come out of the woodwork. And then there's the final arc in that is there's community board meetings, everybody's talked it over, the plan is approved, and then more people come out of the woodworks and they say, well, nobody ever told me, and then they sue. And it's crazy, and those lawsuits always get thrown out, and they're still always filed.
Backlash to proposals like this has happened before, like in 2018 when they banned cars from Prospect and Central Park.
The campaign to get cars out of Prospect and Central Parks was so heated, and it is probably the greatest example of most fight and least opposition now. They would go like 30 miles an hour inches away from the people jogging. It's crazy. But when there's cars dominating the space, people couldn't enjoy Central Park. And that's the same thing here. Like, you can't even really enjoy this incredibly historic plaza that I don't think anybody really even realizes is there.
But there is one key fact that is important to note with this proposal. DOT aren't saying let's make the entire plaza car-free. That would force the car traffic in Grand Army Plaza to be absorbed elsewhere in the city. Instead, DOT's proposal is to have two-way traffic either side of the arch instead of the one-way system that it operates currently. And if you look at DOT's traffic study, they've done some good research to show how this will affect drivers. While commuters navigating from Union Street to Eastern Parkway will have an increase in their travel time due to pedestrianizing the section in front of the arch, commuters from Vanderbilt or Flatbush Avenue to Eastern Parkway, the more popular commuter route, will actually see in the new design a substantial decrease to their travel time.
So you see behind me Flatbush Avenue as it enters the northern part of the circle, right? Now this is going to change dramatically, but it's not going to be bad for drivers, right? Instead of coming down Flatbush into the circle, they're going to go, if you're coming southbound, you're going to go to the other side of the circle. And if you're coming from the south, you're going to come north through the circle and around. So these cars will still be here, but they won't all be going south. Some of them will be going south, some will be going north.
And while we're on the topic of commuters, the new proposal also plans to streamline bus routes.
There's also a big bus lane project coming nearby on Flatbush Avenue, which is really important because it's going to speed up traffic, ideally, because it's going to have more people riding buses.
The Department of Transportation is already starting to install dedicated bus lanes on Flatbush further up to the north, and it's supposed to come all the way down to here. Well, it could go all the way down to southern Brooklyn, and this could be a transit way as opposed to what it is now, just kind of garbage.
Buses were an integral part to the mayor's election campaign, make buses fast and free. And this project fits very neatly into that agenda. In DOT's study, the proposed design will drastically decrease travel time for commuters on the B41 and the B69. So while the project does take commuters well into consideration, the most exciting thing about this project is undoubtedly the prospect of a brand new grand public plaza. And the decisions on how this plaza should feel and what this plaza should be have really been left open by DOT. Let's discuss some of the options. To design it as something more modern, or to build upon the historical character and significance of the existing arch, the fountain, and the various statues that adorn the plaza. They describe three design concepts: radial, diagonal grove, and open access, each bringing a different vibe and feel to how a member of the local community would move through and use this space. And decisions need to be made with regards to tree cover, a completely open and flexible paved space with no trees, a consistent tree canopy, or a full tree canopy with grass, a true expansion of Prospect Park.
I would love to see more planters, really adorning it with decoration and really making it pedestrian friendly and cycle friendly. I think it would almost feel like you're still in the park, right? Like you never left it.
These are all decisions where DOT have expressed very little opinion, and I think they're really leaving it open to community boards and local feedback sessions to help inform their decision. Look, there's a long way to go before this project actually happens. It'll be a year or a year and a half at the earliest. But one look at Grand Army Plaza, especially if you go on a Saturday morning during the farmers market, and it's very clear how this public space could be dramatically improved.
When you really see it at its busiest is truly on the weekends with the farmers market, which is right there. So you have all these people that are shopping, arriving by foot and bike, coming off the train, and then, cars are going around them. So it's just a messy situation that I think no one likes.
And on Saturdays, there's a farmers market right here, which actually kind of spills out to the very edge of the plaza, and it's quite dangerous when you've got thousands of people buying groceries, not really paying much attention.
The really exciting thing for me are all of the social gatherings, the ones that can be expanded upon and the new ones that'll be able to be created and hosted by the Grand Army Plaza area. And the fact that all of this could possibly be achieved without really affecting commuters all that much really sounds like a win-win across the board.
Well, it's going to be amazing to see people immediately absorb the space. That happens everywhere in New York City. When we close off a street or when we pedestrianize somewhere, people start immediately sitting down and eating lunch like it was always there,
This has the potential to be the defining urban design project for a mayor that's desperate to leave their positive stamp across the city. And if it's successful and well received, we could see it spurring a movement of similar projects that prioritize pedestrians and improve communities.
This could be something that really is a world-class addition, but I don't know that it's going to then spur change all across the city because change is very hard. People are very afraid of change.
This is definitely a big moment in the street safety world and also just like in the urbanism world.
Let's see how it all pans out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and huge thank you to Streets Blog and Transportation Alternatives and everyone who spoke to us about Grand Army Plaza. We really appreciate your help. Third Place is a creator-led local news YouTube channel making videos about things happening in New York City. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to support the work we do, please consider subscribing.